Hello, everyone. I'll give a couple more minutes and we'll get started in a brief minute. Thanks. We'll give one more minute and then we'll get going. All right, we can begin. Hello and welcome to the Specialized Transportation Grant Program Cycle 13 Call for Projects Kickoff meeting. My name is Zachary Rivera and my colleague Ali Vasquez and I serve as program managers of the Specialized Transportation Grant Program, or STGP. We have a lot to cover today, so let's get started. At this time, please take a moment to introduce yourself in the chat by giving your name, agency name, title, and agency service area, if applicable. In the meantime, let me share a few housekeeping notes. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording, along with the presentation and notes summarizing the feedback we've heard, is anticipated to be posted to the STGP webpage in about a week. Please make sure you are muted so that all can hear the presentation, and add any questions you may have to the chat and Zoom. For our group questions today, we wanted everyone to be able to see each other's answers, so we're using a platform called Mentimeter. If you're watching this on a computer or laptop, you can use your smartphone to participate by going to menti.com and typing in the code of our presentation on this slide or scanning the QR code. If you're participating on your phone today and don't have another device to log into Mentimeter, you can answer these questions in the chat. Just tap your screen, then tap the chat icon to type in your answers. So what's on the agenda for today? So in the hour we have together, we'll provide an overview of the SDGP and the Cycle 13 anticipated timeline, seek your input on the specialized transportation needs of the region, solicit your feedback on the program goal, and wrap up by discussing next steps and how to connect with us. All right, so first of all, just to get a sense is who is with us today, and also to get some Mentimeter practice, let's do our first Mentimeter question. Have you participated in a SANDAG Specialized Transportation Grant Program workshop before? Again, please go to menti.com and use the code 79988685. I'll give a couple minutes, so get that practice and see where we are. Okay, looks like most have been on a workshop with us before, but many newcomers as well. and received a couple of notices in the chat that there have been some that have been here before. Give a couple more minutes. Right. All right, the last call on this question. Looks like we have a really good mix of people today. Really appreciate you letting us know, and it's completely okay if you haven't attended one of our workshops or meetings before. Warm word of welcome to you all. And now I'll turn it over to Ali.
All right. Hello, everyone. Once again, I'm Ali Vasquez. I'm the other program manager for the Specialized Transportation Grant Program. So let's go ahead and start with an introduction into the STGP and a timeline. So the STGP funds a broad range of specialized transportation services for older adults and individuals with disabilities when fixed route public transit is insufficient, unavailable, or inappropriate. So what is fixed route public transit? So those are things like the trolley, sprinter, coaster, and the bus routes. The STGP seeks to complement those fixed route services to strengthen our region's specialized transportation network. Through the STGP, we provide funding through the Federal Transit Administration Section 5310 program and the Transnet Senior Mini Grant Program to eligible applicants such as nonprofit organizations, local governmental agencies, and transit operators for specialized transportation projects and programs. So while there are similarities between both of the funding sources, the Transnet program and the Section 5310 program, there are some differences as well. For the FTA Section 5310 program, that funds projects in urbanized areas of San Diego, whereas the Senior Mini Grant Program funds projects countywide. And the target population for Section 5310 is older adults and individuals with disabilities, but the target population for the Senior Mini Grant, or SMG, is only older adults. And each program defines older adults differently. So older adults are 65 and older for Section 5310, and for Senior Mini Grant, they are 60 years or older. So now let's get into what type of grant types our program funds. There are 3 eligible grant types under the program. There is mobility management, operating, and capital grants. Let's first get into mobility management. So mobility management grants consist of activities that improve coordination among public transportation and other transportation service providers. Some eligible mobility management grants include transportation information and referral services, transportation brokerage services, and travel training. For operating grants, they can consist of activities to operate, maintain, and manage a transportation service for older adults and individuals with disabilities. Eligible operating projects include things like mileage reimbursement, volunteer driver programs, and programs that offer transit pass subsidies. And our last grant type are capital grants. So capital grants consist of the acquisition of contracted transportation services or the purchase of property such as accessible vehicles. The mobility management and operating grants are eligible under both the senior mini grant and Section 5310 funding programs, but capital grants are only eligible under Section 5310. So about every 2 years, SANDAG holds a competitive process or call for projects. That's kind of what brings us all here today, to distribute the available SCGP funding. Since the program started in 2006, we have awarded over 63 million over 12 call for project cycles. The median amount awarded per cycle since cycle 8 is approximately 7.2 million, or about 28 grants. Starting with cycle 8, 2 former federal programs were combined into the current Section 5310 program, and the amount of funding increased. So that's the big jump that you see here on the line graph. We presently do not know how much funding will be available through the cycle 13 call that you're all interested in today, but our current estimate is 6.4 million for Section 5310 and 2.8 million for SMG or senior mini grant. That is 9.2 million total. So that's represented on the chart here with the orange dotted line. The forecasted increase is due to the bipartisan infrastructure law, which bolstered the Section 5310 funding. So now I'll pass the mic to Zach.
Thanks, Ellie. Here's what's anticipated to be in store for us over the next 12 months. From now until the end of the year, staff plans to engage stakeholder groups such as the Social Services Transportation Advisory Council and the Council on Access and Mobility on what the specialized transportation needs are for the region. In January, staff expects to present a summary of what was heard to the SANDAG policy advisory committees. Then in February, staff plans to hold a Cycle 13 workshop to focus on the project selection criteria used to score proposed projects. In the March to April timeframe, staff plans to loop back around with stakeholder groups to solicit input on the project selection criteria. In the May to June timeframe, staff plans to present the project selection criteria to the SANDAG policy advisory committees. If approved, staff plans to release the Cycle 13 call for projects on July 1st, opening a 90-day application window. The takeaway here is that this will be an iterative process with sufficient time to receive meaningful stakeholder input. Now that you've received a crash course on the SDGP, let's now zero in on the specialized transportation needs of the region. What are the biggest mobility needs of older adults and individuals with disabilities to get around our region? So one of the benefits of starting this Cycle 13 process is that we can take what we've learned through Cycle 12 and prior cycles and make it even better. During Cycle 12 alone, we received over 100 comments, and from that feedback, we distilled 5 themes. 1, availability, 2, accessibility, 3, affordability, 4, reliability, and 5, adaptability. Regarding availability, stakeholders wanted specialized transportation options where and when they are needed. For example, we've heard that more service is needed in rural areas and outside work hours. For example, a writer in San Marcos wanted to see a play at the Civic Theater on a Saturday evening, but there weren't any specialized transportation options at that time. Regarding accessibility, stakeholders discussed having options that meet the mobility needs of older adults and individuals with disabilities. For example, are individuals with disabilities afforded an equivalent level of service as individuals without disabilities? Is the rider provided door-through-door service or door-to-door service? Another need we've heard is for fares to be free or at least affordable, especially for older adults on fixed incomes or those with frequent medical appointments, such as dialysis appointments. If the fare is not reasonable or affordable, then is the service accessible? Another need we've heard is for service to be reliable. In other words, can riders depend on the service, or are there frequent cancellations or extreme tardiness? Last but not least is adaptability. This theme speaks to how flexible the service is to the needs of older adults and individuals with disabilities. For example, how quickly can a service adapt? Is the service on demand, for example? So, and this leads us to our next Mentimeter question. Of the 5 themes mentioned, which theme most resonates with you? Again, the 5 themes were availability, 2, accessibility, 3, affordability, 4, reliability, and 5, adaptability. We invite you to participate via Mentimeter or through the chat. Okay, it looks like we had accessibility and availability are the 2 top ones so far. And again, if you're having trouble with Mentimeter, feel free to enter in your responses in the chat as well.
I see a few in the chat. One person put that they think availability is important. Another person put accessibility.
Okay.
And then also another for affordability as well. Those ones seem to be the top ones.
Yes, looks like it. So we're looking at the top 3, availability, accessibility, and affordability. Give it another minute or so. Allow people to get their answers in. We have 21 participants on the Mentimeter, so, and we have 48 people on the call. So if you haven't entered into the chat, please use Mentimeter and give us your feedback.
Yes, the Mentimeter, just so you all know, to access it, if you just joined late, you can go at the top, it says join at menti.com. So you can enter that on your phone or on your laptop. And then you just need to enter the passcode, which is written on the slide before you as well. It is 79988685.
Perfect. Okay. Well, it looks like these themes are resonating with the group. At least the availability and accessibility, at least for Mentimeter, is really resonating with the group. Again, really appreciate your participation on this. Go to the next slide. So we just discussed in the prior slide what we've heard before and what resonated with you. But what other specialized transportation needs exist in our region today? What, if anything, are we missing? So again, in a few words, feel free to use Mentimeter, and this will generate a word cloud or use the chat feature. And just a note that you can submit multiple responses in Mentimeter. So again, what other specialized transportation needs exist in our region today that we haven't covered so far? What are we missing? Okay, I have something about rural services. Okay, we have 2 comments on rural areas. hybrid and electric fleet. So on-demand rights, okay. Services, adaptable shared mobility, okay. Free options, so that kind of goes to affordability.
Zach, we have in the chat, we've got gurney, missing spontaneity for those with developmental disabilities or intellectual disabilities. We also have some more on-demand, couple who have said on-demand in the chat as well.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Okay, seeing here a lot of responses coming in. Wonderful, I appreciate seemingly a lot of responses for on-demand so far. Give it a couple more minutes.
It seemed like it really picked up.
Yes, looks like we have a lot more responses here. Languages, trainings and tours, language barriers. So I'm seeing a theme of language, rural, shuttle services, consistency. That's another theme.
We have in the chat driver sensitivity training and monitoring.
Okay.
Rising cost of insurance and cost of accessible vans. Unreliability of paratransit. And yeah, that's most of it.
Okay. Okay, give one more minute.
A lot of great comments here, some that I've never heard before, so really excited to add this input for our latest cycle. It's crazy how quick it moves. It's like I feel like I blink and then all of a sudden it's different.
Carriage transit funding, electric fleet, all good information, like Ali was saying. Okay, one more minute and we'll move on. Transport for medical appointments. Yes, we definitely have heard that before. Many of these themes we've heard before as well. So thank you.
Also, agreements with Uber, like Los Angeles for subsidized rides, and assistance helping small businesses partner with medical and other insurance providers would create more companies and opportunities for growth in the chat.
Okay. Great, thank you, Ben. And I think I saw Philip made that comment. Thank you, Philip.
And just so you all know too, the chat will be saved as well for us. So we will digest everything that you said, you know, not just in Mentimeter, but in the chat log as well.
Wonderful. All right, last call. We have a lot of input here. I love it. All right. So yeah, we have all this input in a word cloud. Really appreciate it. This input is very helpful to us as we think through how we develop the cycle 13 call for projects to make it as responsive as possible to to stakeholders in the San Diego region. Where this data will live, we intend to compile this information and publish a summary of the themes we've heard and post it to our webpage. So thank you for your input. So let's go to our next slide.
All right, so I'll get into more of the program goal. So the current STGP program goal is to improve mobility for older adults and individuals with disabilities by delivering effective, equitable, environmentally responsible, and coordinated transportation solutions in our region. So that is our current program goal. And we are interested in knowing what, if anything, should be changed to improve the STGP program goal. We thought with this Mentimeter question, you can go ahead and enter in an answer for us on what we can do to improve the current program goal. So again, the current program goal is improve mobility for older adults and individuals with disabilities by delivering effective, equitable, environmentally responsible, and coordinated specialized transportation solutions. So you can enter your answers into Mentimeter by just opening your current browser that if you might have open already, or you can join initially by going to menti.com and using the code 7998-8685. And for this question, you can enter multiple answers on how we can improve that program goal. We want to hear it all.
And maybe we'll allow a couple more minutes for this question so you can digest the program goal and think about what improvements you might have for the program goal.
Somebody asked if we can put the goal back up. I can't put the goal back up because then it wouldn't show the answers that are coming in, but I can repeat that goal for you. It is to improve mobility for older adults and individuals with disabilities by delivering effective, equitable, environmentally responsible, and coordinated specialized transportation solutions. We will try and put the program goal in the chat. Oh, there it is. There we go. We put the program goal in the chat for you as well to help you provide us with comments. Good. So I just want to engage with the comments a little bit here. We've got referencing to affordability again here. That's a good one. On demand, definitely a recurring theme during this webinar. I like the outreach idea as well. Yes, outreach and better communication. Those are a little bit related. Program goal aligns with our transportation goal. That's a good one too. Oops, sorry, I accidentally went back. There. Let's see also what we've got in the chat. Government agencies run service. Reliable and timely service. Spontaneous transportation, yes. Kind of related to the on-demand transportation folks. Many folks have entered that. Coordinating with health centers. Absolutely.
Also looks like we have some interesting comments in Mentimeter regarding, in terms of equity, which areas have been identified that need more transportation options. And another comment on understanding the background and experience of the evaluators. Interesting.
That's a great comment. And I think, Zach, that's understanding the background and experience of the evaluators. That's something you could definitely incorporate when you're doing, you know, meeting with our transportation committee and stuff. We can talk about that if you can.
Okay.
There's some really great comments on assessing needs, which I think is good. I mean, SANDAG is, we are the regional planner agency. That's definitely something that's on our mind as well. So thank you for that comment.
We have providing statistics, I think it is, that Alejandra brought up about the needs and areas with greatest need, and also helping existing small senior transportation agencies to provide more effective transportation to their communities.
Thank you so much for indulging us and providing all these great comments. I think at this time we'll go ahead and pause here so that we can, you know, leave time for next steps and questions. But we appreciate all of the feedback, and you've given us a lot of food for thought so that we can help improve the program and the next call for projects.
All right, so to wrap up this kickoff meeting, let's discuss some next steps and how you can connect with us and stay engaged during the process. In terms of next steps, we plan to dedicate the next several months to gathering your valuable input as we refine our program goal and project selection criteria. Pending board approval of the project selection criteria, we anticipate releasing the Cycle 13 call for projects on July 1st, 2024, opening a 90-day application window. In fall of 2024, staff anticipates reviewing submitted applications for eligibility and forwarding eligible applications to evaluators external to SANDAG to score. Then, funding recommendations will be developed and presented to the SANDAG policy advisory committees and board for approval, which is expected in March of 2025. Awarded senior mini grant projects would start in July of 2025, and awarded Section 5310 projects would start in October of 2025. So at this time, I think since we're a little bit early, I'm really interested in any questions that you guys have. Feel free to enter your questions in the chat. You know, ask away. We're willing to entertain questions.
Okay, Jacqueline was asking if, can this support Imperial County? I think, going back to that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for the question. So The SDGP is San Diego County. The Section 5310 program, which is a component of the Specialized Transportation Grant Program, funds projects in the urbanized areas of San Diego County. The Senior Mini Grant Program serves projects countywide. So again, within San Diego County and not Imperial County. However, I will say that if you are in Imperial County or need specialized transportation funding or want to apply, Caltrans administers the Section 5310 program for Imperial County. So I encourage you to reach out to Caltrans.
Okay, looks like Sabrina is asking, can you repeat the award dates?
Sure. So the cycle 13 call would be anticipated to be released on July 1st, 2024. And then from there, awards are anticipated to be made in March of 2025.
Okay, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing, but Sojin asks, where can I see what projects have been supported so far?
Awesome. Thank you, Sojin. So we have a list of the awards that have been made for the Specialized Transportation Grant Program for Cycle 12, Cycle 11, and Cycle 10 on our webpage. So if you go to www.sandag.org/STGP, if you go to, I think it's competitive process, underneath there are those projects listed.
Lots of questions coming in. Marcy asks, have you given any additional thought to changes to the evaluation criteria, the procedures, and the scoring?
Yes, thank you, Marcy. So we're just starting out this process. What this input here will inform the needs of the region and the program goal. In February, we're going to take a deeper dive at that project selection criteria, and we'll definitely want stakeholder input on that criteria. And in the meantime, if you have any feedback that you want to provide, please email us, and we're receptive to that. And the procedures, we typically update our procedures that govern our Specialized Transportation Grant Program every 2 years to coincide with the competitive cycle. And this is no different. So we anticipate that will be happening next calendar year, and we'll keep stakeholders apprised.
Great. I see Elliot responded, and Felix asked, any word on hybrid or electric vehicles?
Thank you, Felix. So this is an area that is new to the grant program. It's really relatively new for specialized transportation. I can say that there are a few models of electric accessible vehicles that are becoming available. I can just backtrack a little bit and say that SANDAG, through the Section 5310 program, buys vehicles on behalf of awarded grantees through the California Association of Coordinated Transportation, their purchasing cooperative. And we use that purchasing cooperative to secure advantageous pricing and to ensure that all federal requirements are met, including ADA. So that cooperative has made a few cutaway buses, electric buses, available. And so you will anticipate, if you're applying, to see those as options along with other vehicles. So thank you, Felix.
Okay, and Lisa asks, would you be more specific on how we can participate in the stakeholder group meetings?
Sure. So in February, the date has not been set yet. We plan to hold a kickoff, not a kickoff, sorry. We plan to hold a workshop really diving into the project selection criteria. That will be the main thrust of when we dive into it with stakeholders. However, following that workshop, there will be definitely presentations and meetings where we go out to stakeholder groups and solicit input. We also will engage our transportation committee as well as the independent taxpayer oversight committee on the project selection criteria, and those meetings are open to the public and encourage your participation in that way too.
Great.
And one thing before I forget too, all this information, we will email it out to stakeholders. So if you don't need to remember the nuances and have your calendars booking out now, we'll be sure to communicate it out to stakeholders. If you're not already on our email distribution list, please let us know and we can make sure you're added.
Okay. Jacqueline is asking, we do fall under San Diego Regional Center region. I was hoping we would qualify. Bummer. Thank you for the response. Imperial County is in a bad spot for transport and any support really for individuals with unique needs with transportation barriers. I will look into transit. So kind of more of a comment, looks like. And looks like Ali. Yeah, so we are, all questions have been gone through. Any other questions? Feel free to add to the chat.
And Jacqueline, just to reiterate, I encourage you to look into Caltrans, their Section 5310 program, which does cover Imperial County. Are there any other questions from the group?
Okay, so Jean is asking, if a stakeholder did not receive funding from Cycle 12, are there other resources available until Cycle 13 is available?
Not through the Specialized Transportation Grant Program. There might be other grant programs through SANDAG or other external to SANDAG. So if there is something that changes based off of that, we will sure to be letting stakeholders know.
Philip asks, are these grants ever awarded to small businesses in San Diego County, or do they usually go to medium to big businesses?
Okay, Philip, thank you for the question. Really important to clarify here that the eligible applicants for the program are nonprofits and local public agencies. So businesses, whether they're small or large, are ineligible to apply on their own. However, if they want to be a sub-applicant under an eligible applicant, the nonprofit or local public agency, they can do so.
Marcy asks, slightly off topic, but are there any other SANDAG grant programs like the old JARC opportunity, which support job seekers with transportation needs?
Not that I am aware of, no.
I just wanted to add, Philip, that I put the list of eligible applicants, the brief list here on the slide deck for you all as well.
Okay. Any other questions
I see that there's Justin Hole has his hand raised.
Well, I'm not in San Diego. I doing meet Zoom or other peer like Wednesday night or something with Debbie Marshall. I'm gonna point to you because I'm at the end because I'm doing the bus for transportation in Napa. So we have transportation in Napa, and I do take the bus morning, come home afternoon, and the schedule is working out for me, and that's why I want this Napa one.
Okay, thank you, Philip. Or not Philip, sorry, Justin. I don't know the situation in Napa. I will say that the Section 5310 program is national. So there are Section 5310 programs administered by the SANDAGs of the world throughout the state and throughout the country. So I encourage you to reach out and see if there might be something similar in Napa.
And if you're in a rural area in Napa, like Zach was mentioning, then the Section 5010 rural program that Caltrans administers that Zach mentioned previously, that could apply for your area as well. It just has to, you just kind of have to investigate whether that area is eligible and which program it's eligible for.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for your interest, Justin. We're getting more than regional people here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, hearing or seeing no more further questions, I think we can go to the last slide. Oh, let's pause.
Okay.
Felix, you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello. So I heard your response to the Imperial Valley question. If we are headquartered in San Diego, but we provide services in Imperial, is that still illegible?
Yes, so we have one of the policies we have is that 80% of the service has to be for the target population. And so as long as the majority, or the vast majority, 8% of the services in San Diego County, that would be fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
One other thing I should mention too is we have gotten in the past questions of whether service can go into Mexico. That we probably would not fly, especially since for the 5310 program or the senior mini grant program.
Looks like we have a question from Clyde about how can we get a better nexus between public transportation and affordable housing?
All right. Well, Clyde, how much time do you have? No. So that's a larger question. I think what I would do is refer you to our regional plan, our 2025 regional plan, which is seeking public input, and that would be a great place to provide that comment and that feedback.
Looks like Ali just added some information on 5310 for people.
I thought that might help Justin and some of the folks that were asking about the rural areas. So that's the FTA's website. So you can check out, what are eligible projects for Section 5310 in general. And then I believe they have information on the rural program as well.
Thank you so much, Ellie.
And FTA is the Federal Transit Administration. So. Okay. All right, so let's wrap things up here. Just wanted to thank you all for attending this kickoff meeting and taking valuable time out of your day to provide feedback. And this is key, without which we would not be able to do our jobs well. As the kickoff name suggests, this is only just the start of the process. Let's keep the conversation going. We encourage you to visit our webpage, www.sandag.org/STGP, and email grantsdistribution@sandag.org for questions, comments, and to be added to our distribution list. As a reminder, we anticipate posting the recording, presentation slides, and summary of today's feedback on the SDGP webpage within about a week. We also encourage you to take a quick survey to provide feedback on this presentation via the link in the chat. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. Again, thank you, and we hope you stay connected with us. Thank you all.